Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of Box Office Receipts. Still working on catching up on what I've missed, so let's jump right into the box office numbers. Domestically, there were two new releases, none of them opening to first place, which is still Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, with 31.6 million for a total of 342 million. Opening in second place is Downton Abbey: A New Era with 16 million. In third place is The Bad Guys with 6.1 million for a total of 74.3 million. Fourth place was Sonic the Hedgehog 2 with 3.9 million for a total of 181 million. Lastly, opening in fifth place is Men from A24 with 3.2 million. So Doctor Strange had a solid hold this weekend, only dropping 51%. And depending on how it holds up against Top Gun, it could still make 400 million domestic. As for Downton Abbey, it's a solid opening, but nothing great, as the first one did open to 31 million back in 2019. As for Men, well, it's not too surprising it opened this low. While critic reviews are solid, word of mouth is bad, and having read about the movie, I'm not surprised. And don't expect this one to do well at the box office domestically or internationally. But A24 does have something to celebrate this weekend, and that is a new record. Everything Everywhere All at Once made 3.1 million in sixth place to bring its total to 52.3 million. This means it has now passed Uncut Gems and is the biggest movie ever for A24 domestically. While it was clear over the last few weeks it was going to make it, it's nice to see it actually happen. It's a great accomplishment and couldn't have happened to a better movie. For China, it was hard to get solid weekend data, so I'll just report the latest total gross for the current films there. The Bad Guys is at 25.7 million. Love Will Tear Us Apart is at 54.6 million. Man on the Edge is at 19.7 million. Stay With Me is at 23 million. Downton Abbey: A New Era made 1.59 million in its opening weekend. Finally, The Secrets of Dumbledore is at 26.1 million. Now looking at the international box office, we start with Doctor Strange, where it made another 40 million internationally for a worldwide total of 803.2 million. Not much has changed since last weekend. It's still locked for 900 million at least, but unlikely to hit a billion. The Bad Guys made 7.6 million internationally for a worldwide total now of 183.1 million. Downton Abbey: A New Era made 3.8 million. For a worldwide total of 52 million. Firestarter continues to do poorly, making only 833,000 for a worldwide total of 10.6 million. The Northman is at 63.9 million, and Sony made a last push for Uncharted over the last few days by giving it a small expansion, and it worked as the film has now passed 400 million worldwide. So we start off the news from Hollywood on a somber note, and that is Ray Liotta has died. It's being reported that he passed away in his sleep in the Dominican Republic, where he was filming his latest film. He was 67 years old. There's not much here to say. He was a great actor. Sympathies to his family, and may he rest in peace. Moving over to news in Hollywood, Deadline has the exclusive on this, and that is Sony is looking to turn another one of their franchises into a Hollywood production. The franchise? Grand Turismo. And they are looking to make a film out of it. The report says it is in very early production, but for a possible director, Neil Blomkamp is in the lead for the position. Now for a film, this could work. Recently, thanks in part to Driving to Survive series on Netflix, Formula One has seen a rise in popularity, especially in America. So if they get some big name actors, write some compelling characters, set in a heated Formula One series, it can be a hit. Since it is in very early production, this is likely a 2025 film, maybe even 2026. Next, we have an update on the Village Roadhouse Warner Brothers lawsuit. This was a lawsuit filed by Village Roadhouse against Warner Brothers for diluting their films, or accusing them of diluting their films, like Matrix Resurrections, by releasing them on HBO Max day and date, and trying to cut them out of making sequels for some of their other properties. So what is the update? Well, the case will not be in court anymore. Village Roadshow has agreed to move the case to arbitration, which is what Warner Brothers has been wanting since the beginning. Now, it's not clear what happened behind the scenes to have this change in strategy, but now it is going to arbitration. Warner Brothers is likely to get a better outcome for themselves. As for what might actually happen, Village Roadshow will likely get a lump sum of cash to pay for damages and shut them up. Also, with it going to arbitration, it'll be harder to hear what the end result will be, but if I hear anything about it, I'll report it. Paramount has set a release date for a horror film called Smile, and it is set to release September 30th. The film is about a doctor where after a traumatic event, her mind begins to turn on her. It will open against the universal romantic comedy, Bros. At Star Wars Celebration, Lucasfilms confirmed again that Indiana Jones 5 will be coming out June 30th next year, and also released a teaser picture. The picture isn't much, it is just Indy crossing a bridge in the dark. We also got a new trailer for Thor Love and Thunder, with finally a look at Christian Bale's character Gore the God Butcher, who looks pretty creepy. In a good way. I'm looking forward to the movie. It comes out July 8th. It was pretty quiet in VOD Premium, but there are still two small stories worth mentioning. First, Lionsgate CEO gave an update on Starz and that they are planning by the end of summer to unveil its plans for it, with the likelihood being it's spun off as its own company. That would then make it possible for another company to buy it, possibly another studio or streaming company. If it is spun off, that would mark the end of a short and unsuccessful relationship between the two. Lionsgate originally bought Starz for over $4 billion back in 2016, and now just 6 years later are looking to get rid of it. Finally, we got a trailer for The Gray Man, the big summer film for Netflix, and their biggest film yet if we go by budget, even a bit bigger than Red Notice. The action film starring Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans looks good, but right now it doesn't look anything special. I'm still excited for the film, and hopefully when I watch it, there is something there that makes it stand out. And as if for this week's episode of Box Office Receipts, I'm almost done catching up, so thank you for bearing with me. I'll see you in the next episode.